All right, good evening. My name is Trevor Rice, and I am a senior airman in the United States Air Force. With me, I have Ruben, Jesse, and Kelly. Say hello.
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 All right, so have you ever thought about taking your life to the next level in all aspects? Have you ever thought about joining the military? Today, I'm going to be talking to you about joining the United States Air Force. All right, so why join? We're the world's best Air Force. We have the best technology competing at high priority missions directly from the President of the United States. If you join the Air Force, you can experience equal and self-paced promotion system, indulge yourself in many of our benefits, gain the best experience you'll ever find, and of course, get paid to do it. All right, so let's talk about pay. The basic pay is what everyone gets. It's going to be based on your rank and the time you've been in the service. So, for example, I am an E4 of 3 stripes, and I've been in for 4 years. So you correlate the rank and with pay and with how long you've been in. That's how much you'll get every month. But you also get a few more allowances. A couple allowances that everyone will get is called Basic Allowance of Substance, or BAS. Basically offsets the meals for the service member, not necessarily your family, but just it's one flat rate for every person, no matter what your rank is or how long you've been in. Basic allowance for housing. This is going to be based on location and your rank. So for someone living in California and as an E7, the BAH is going to be a lot more than someone who's an E4 and living in Alabama or something. A few more allowances a few more extra pay benefits that we can get. Something that's called cost of living allowance. Basically, these are places that have a very high cost of living that's not really part of the normal day-to-day. Places like New York City or California and other places like Europe and other overseas locations that we can go to. We get paid for deployments. Deployment is basically when somebody leaves their home station and goes to an operation, maybe a hazardous operation or somewhere there's like a hostile fire, like you've heard of the places like Southwest Asia and Africa. You get special duty pay. It's when somebody is doing a duty that's outside of their normal career field, like a recruiter or an instructor. And then, of course, there used to be, this year there's not, but there used to be, and there could be, again in the future, career bonuses. This is for careers that have not enough people, or that it's a very demanding job, or it's a very hard job, and they will pay you a certain amount of money to stay in the Air Force or to stay in your career. All right, so promotions. We talked about this earlier with pay. So pay is associated with your rank. Every time when you promote, it means that you're going to get an increase in pay. So there are a couple of different ways to promote. There's tests, there's seniority, there's decorations, there's appraisals. All these types of things account for when you promote, how you promote, if you're going to promote. Promotions are also based on availability. We'll talk about this later on, especially with the higher ranks. And going into that, they are different from enlisted versus an officer standpoint. So let's talk about enlisted. For the first 4 ranks, it's pretty much automatic based on the time you've been into the service. So basically, all you have to do is just not get in trouble and stay in the Air Force for maybe 2 years, and you'll rank up eventually through those ranks. For E5 to E7. Multiple factors can play into this. The main thing is testing. That is something that's different. Basically, you'll take one test for your career, for your job especially, and then another test for the actual Air Force knowledge. Some other things that come into factor, like decorations, certain awards that you might get count towards different types of points towards your test, towards your promotion, and then of course your past 3 to 5 years of appraisals. If you did not do so well, like on your job evaluations, then it's not going to be as many points as you would get if you were the best of the best. For E8 and E9, these are the top tier of our enlisted. Basically, this is a board selection. When I mean by board selection is leadership will put in packages for these ranks, and a board of other airmen, higher ranking airmen usually, will get together and pick who's the best for this position. They will look at anything from what you've done in your career, the appraisals, how long you've been in. There are many, many factors that go into this. Moving on to officer promotions. So for the first 2 ranks, these are automatic, just based on your time in service. Again, you can't get in any trouble. But for 03 to 05, this is the board selection, very similar to the top tier of enlisted. To become an 04, which is a major, you do need to have a master's degree. So to become an officer, period, you need to have a bachelor's degree, 4-year degree, and then become a major or an 04, you need to have that master's degree. For 06 to 010, this is another board selection. These are the very highest ranking members of the military beside the Secretary of Defense and the other civilian aspects of the military. So these are mandated by Congress. They are a very set role. These positions are very, very, very few people in the military make it all the way to this top tier. Let's talk about benefits. So many people join the military for the benefits alone. Medical, this is probably the best benefit that we can get. There's no charge for any service member for any medical type situation, whether you're sick or you break an arm, or even for a laser eye surgery. Some other benefits include family activities like schools, children's sports, family nights. A lot of places honor military discount. Talking about next is retirement. This kind of plays into the fact with pay. But if you put in 20 years of service with the military, then you get 50% of your basic pay for the rest of your life. It's like a monthly. You continue to get that even after you're out of the Air Force. And then if you stay in for 30 years, you get 75% of that basic pay. Whatever rank you retired at, that's what you'll get, and then there's different percentages between those two. Okay, so some more benefits. Every base is unique. So every base has it's like a city. It has anything you might possibly need. You could survive on this base alone. Some of the things that a base could have is like a library, a gym, airport, movie theater, golf course, free Wi-Fi at community centers, bowling alleys, swimming pools, on-base housing, dorms, dining facilities, chapel or church, hospital, dental clinic, vet, daycare, and that's just a couple. Going back, this picture is Dover Air Force Base, and pretty much this entire parameter here is the base. So when I say it's like a city, it literally is like its own functional city. Okay, so experience. When you join the Air Force, you're not just going to come here and study and train. You're actually going to be doing a specific job. Okay, so for example, there's most of the jobs that we have here in the Air Force, they're also on the outside. So like our security forces is like a police or a security guard at a facility. Our aircraft mechanics are the same type of mechanics that work on aircraft in the private sector, like on United Airways or Delta. Personnel is a job that is pretty much similar to business administration. And then, of course, my job is weather, which is also on the outside as like an on-air meteorologist or for the National Weather Service. Leadership training, that's pretty huge because you start leadership training on day one when you join the military. These can go anywhere from learning how to do self-aid buddy care or CPR, and then also trying to learn how to be a leader within your peers or within the group of people that you work with every day. So let's talk about military schools and courses. These are all free. There's other things like tuition assistance you can use. It's actually paying for the class that I'm taking now. You can go to school for free. The military offers schools for free without even having to use tuition assistance or anything at all. They'll teach you military skills, they'll teach you leadership skills, and you'll actually get college credit for doing these military academies. Let's talk about teamwork skills. We touched on this just a little bit. But we all have to work together to get the mission done. Even different career fields. I have to work with pilots to ensure that they don't mess up on their mission and that they don't waste their time. After about 4 or 5 years in the Air Force, or if you hit your 4th promotion, you will be a supervisor. Everybody in the Air Force will be a supervisor over somebody. And that will carry, those types of traditions and those character traits will carry on with you for the rest of your career or later on in the private sector. Before I close, I just want to let you know some of the personal things that I've benefited from the Air Force. After this class will be an associate's degree. I've actually had laser eye surgery last year. I bought a new car, which is tax-free thanks to the military. I had a chance to live in Germany and travel all over Europe and Africa. I got 72 hours of weather training in 8 months when I first entered. And then I had endless medical benefits. If you're ever interested in joining the Air Force, just go to www.airforce.com. And we're going to watch a quick clip, and then I will close with any questions.
The mission of the Reaper is both ISR, intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, and also CAS, close air support. So not only are we helping ground forces see what they need to see, but if they're in trouble, we have weapons that can support suppressing the enemy forces. We really don't have to fly that high not to be seen. One, because they're not that large, and two, because it's not that loud. It's really amazing. And there's 2 stations. There's the pilot station and the sensor station. The pilot obviously is controlling the aircraft and the movement of the aircraft, whereas the sensor is controlling the sensor ball and actually moving that to look at different things, zoom in, zoom out. Our video feed is literally being watched by people all over the country and the world. There's people down on the ground really relying on you getting the best picture of whatever they need you to look at. We have the ability to stay airborne for 24-hour periods and tie all these different people into the scene and make decisions very promptly. We're able to have more troops here at home, but at the same time having as much of an impact on getting the mission done overseas.
Okay, are there any questions?
No.
Perfect, thank you.